Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel, and as you can see, I have no makeup on. Yeah. I need to get something on my lips here. They are dry. Oh, so much better. Baby lips to the rescue! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing an updated foundation routine. Basically, it's been like 6 months since I did my first foundation routine. A lot of my products that I've been using have changed, and even some of the techniques that I use to apply it have changed. So I thought I would share with you what I have been doing lately. I really like it. Like, my foundation has been on point recently. I thought I would share from beginning to end everything that I put on just my face. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is moisturize. I cannot stress this enough, like how important this actually is and what a difference this step makes. Trust me. So I've been using the Sephora Instant Moisturizer, more beautiful than ever. I've been using this a lot lately, as you can, if you can see, it's almost gone. I really like this. It sinks into the skin super quickly. It gets some sort of card. Like, this is a card that came with my ColourPop eyeshadows when I ordered them online. And so all I do is I like to speed up the drying process, because especially if you guys are in a hurry to go to work or school or whatever, ain't nobody got time to wait around and let your moisturizer sink in. I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, the mattifying primer. Holy moly, has this changed the game for me. This is like the best primer if you have oily skin. Now, it is drying, so I literally only put it right here where I get my oiliest, right here. And after I kind of blend most of it in, then I go in and add whatever's left on my hand on my nose, because girl, if you put too much of this, or if you put this in an area that it does not get oily, your makeup will not lay nicely on top of it. It will look dry and cakey. So I put a little bit on my chin, but otherwise this keeps me completely matte. I've been wearing this like on its own too when I don't wear makeup. I'll just wear this like in the center of my face because my skin still gets oily even if I'm not wearing makeup, so ding! Next, I go in with foundation. If you guys saw my last foundation routine, which I will link down below, I was like obsessed with the new NARS Luminous All Day foundation, whatever. I still love that foundation, but it is in a different shade. It is too light for me right now. Lately, I have been obsessed with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. This is their newest foundation. I have talked about this before. The texture is really nice, and even if you have oily skin, I find that this stays a really long time on my skin, a lot longer than the original one did. Plus, it's not as heavy and it's not as full coverage, but I really have been liking that look where you can kind of see your natural skin through, like my freckles and stuff. You can kind of see them through this, so I've been in love with this foundation lately. So what I do is I pump maybe like two and a half pumps on the back of my hand, and I go in with the Morphe M439 brush for foundation. It's kind of like a buffing brush, it is a buffing brush, and this thing is amazing. So I just kind of dip it in the foundation of my hand, and then I go like this in really short downward strokes. I apply it all over my face, and then you can kind of buff it in too once you apply it, but make sure that you're ending in downward strokes. And I'm going to stress this a lot because my sister, who is going through beauty school right now, was told incorrectly to brush in upward strokes because it helps prevent pulling on the skin. If you go in really short strokes like this, you are not going to be tugging a lot on the skin, even if it looks like it. I'm barely applying a ton of pressure. The other thing is that this actually going in downward strokes is going to help make your foundation lay a lot nicer, because everybody has hair on their face, like really light little baby hairs. The hair grows downward, so if you go down with the foundation lays really nicely on top of the hair. If you go upward, you're pulling all that hair up and the foundation gets caked up underneath, and then you can kind of see it or see the foundation laying on your skin, and we don't want that. Another thing too is I kind of do try to avoid right under the eyes, because I am going to go in with concealer. I don't want to put more product than I actually need down there. If you don't struggle with a lot of darkness, and foundation, if you put foundation there, it covers up good for you, that is good. Stick with that and don't wear concealer. But my foundation, I find, just doesn't last as long right under the eyes, and concealer lasts a lot longer on me. So I avoid putting product right under the eyes so that I can go in then with concealer. And I have been obsessed. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. Whew, this is good. But like I said, that's really all you need, like right under the eyes. And I drag it down slightly, not nearly as far as I used to, because I want it to blend, you know, and look natural and not just have this light circle under my eye. I want it to blend down, but this prevents me from going overboard with too much product. Especially because this product blends so easily. So I'm also going to put a little bit on the outer corner of my eye because I do get a little dark there, but if you don't, then you don't need it. So now I'm going to go in and take my beauty blender, which yes, this is the new one, it's the black one, I love it. And I'm going to go and blend it out. And yes, it is damp. Make sure that if you're going to use a sponge, that you go like this under the sink a couple times and let it swell up, because that helps it from absorbing too much product. So I'm going to go in and dab and dab and dab and dab and dab and dab. Don't swipe, because you don't want to take away the coverage that we just put there. So we're going to dab. I'm going to bring it up, whatever's extra on my eyelid. Cancel out any darkness, whatever, you know, whatevs. So I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder, Loose Setting Powder. I am in love with this stuff. This has been around for a while, and I just never got used, but this, come on. So I'm actually going to go in with the Beauty Blender and go right on top, just like this. And then I'm going to bring it down to the sides of my nose and blend it out. I bring it down just so that, again, I stay matte in the center of my face where I get oily normally, but also so everything just blends seamlessly and I don't have like, boop, concealer, concealer. Now what I am going to do is, this is just an extra step that I do, and I don't do it every day, and you don't necessarily have to do this. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, and I'm also going to go into that Laura Mercier powder and kind of pack on some of the powder, tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to kind of sweep it on the outer portion of my face and a little bit down my neck. The reason I do this is so that my bronzer and my blush can blend a lot easier on my face. I find that if I don't do this, my bronzer can look a little bit patchy, or it can stick to my foundation and too much gets on my face. Now that we are super pale, I am going to go in now with bronzer, and this is just my all-time favorite bronzer. This is the Pixie by Petra in the color Summertime. I have used this a ton because it's just beautiful. It looks like skin, like it doesn't look powdery. And for being really inexpensive, it looks really natural. I'm going to go in with my favorite e.l.f. brush of the moment, which is the e.l.f. powder brush. It's like flat top powder brush, but I love it for blending out bronzer, blush, any powder products really. It's so beautiful. If you use it for actual like powder foundation, it is a little bit heavy and applies a little bit too much product, but I love it for blending bronzer and blush. So I have not been into contouring. I know contouring is all over the place, but I have been into a lot more natural look that I can wear every day. And I'm going to take this bronzer and basically go up a little bit higher on my cheekbones, and not so much in that contour of my cheek, but blending it more so where the sun would naturally hit me. And I bring it slightly forward, whatever's left on the brush, I bring it forward onto my cheeks. And then taking just a tiny bit more, I'm going to go on my forehead, kind of stick to the outer perimeters of my face. Okay, so now I am going to go in with blush, and this is the Milani Powder Blush from the Rose collection. I talk about this all the time, but only because this is my all-time favorite blush. And I'm going to use it on the same powder brush. And I have been concentrating my blush a little bit farther back because it is a little bit more slimming on the face, and I just like how it looks. I like keeping the center of my face really bright lately, so I like to focus my blush a little bit farther back. Now, one of my favorite things is highlighting. Like I said before, I've been really into keeping my face fairly matte, or at least like satiny, natural looking, and then going in and adding highlighter where I want. So the highlighters I've been obsessed with lately, this is my Ride or Die highlighter. This is the e.l.f. Baked Blush in Pinktastic. It's not a blush, it's a highlight. Even for those of you who are like really super fair, this would be a really pretty highlighter. It's got a little bit of pink, so you could bring it a little bit lower on the cheek, but it's so pretty. Natural glow, doesn't have chunky glitter in it, but lately this is a little bit newer for me. I've been really liking the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator in Gilded Honey. This is really, really beautiful as well. These are not dupes for each other. This one's more pinky, this one's definitely a gold, but I've been obsessed with this one, but this is also a cheaper alternative and yet still a really pretty highlighter that I've been using for a long time. So I'm going to go in with the Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35 brush. So I dip it into the highlighter and I load that sucker up. But then I've been going in and taking my Mario Badescu Skincare Facial Spray with aloe herbs and rose water. I love this stuff. And just barely squirting the brush. I find that this highlighter can look just a tad powdery on the skin if you don't do that. So I really like how this looks. And I basically just kind of make a C right here. And you can even go like a little bit under the brow bone. Look at that highlight. It's so pretty. You put the powder on the brush first, so you're not dipping a wet brush into the product. Load up your brush with the powder, spray it, and then you can blend it on. And it just melts into the skin so much better. I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger, put it on my nose. Blend it down. And there you go. You can go ahead and go in a setting spray. I'm going to go back in with the Mario Badescu setting spray, or rose water. I'm going to go ahead and spray again. Get my nifty card from ColourPop. Thank you, ColourPop. That is it. That is my full foundation routine. This is how I like to make my skin look on a daily basis. You know, only usually if I'm leaving the house. Like if I'm not going to leave the house, or I'm just going to like go to the grocery store or something, I don't wear any makeup. But you know, this is what I wear to school every day. This is where I go, what I wear when I go out. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you learned something new out of my old foundation routine, which I still will link below because it still is a good routine. I just find that my skin is changing and this works a lot better. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!